Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know who I am an inconsistent tuber of a lifetime, or Janelle. For this video, I actually wanted to do a story time that I don't really know if I'm allowed to tell technically, but I'm going to tell it anyway and see what happens. So pretty much this is the time when I applied to be on 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. If you are interested, feel free to watch. If not, you can click off and not watch this shitty boring video because it'll probably be boring. So I applied to be on the show 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days last year, around I want to say August or so, maybe before that. Because I saw a thing, they're usually advertised on like Instagram or Facebook, or even just on the show itself. It's like, we are currently casting. So I'm like, hey, why the hell not? So I decided to apply for the show because I'm like, hey, why not? You don't really see many girls going to Thailand to meet their boyfriend, and see if it actually hits it off. So before when I applied for the show, I was with my boyfriend pretty much for only 2 months at the time. 2 months, yeah, give or take 2 months. Yeah, I applied in August. We got together in June of last year, and it's almost been a year now. So when I applied, we were together for only 2 months. So I knew him, but I didn't know him like I know so much about your life. I barely knew anything about him. So when I was actually emailing them, they replied relatively instantly. I'd say maybe like the next day. So not instantly, but like the next day they replied. I get this really long spiel of like, oh, we're interested in your friend's story. Tell her to contact us at this email and let her know that we're interested in hearing your story. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not my friend's story, it's my story, but I'll reply. So they had like literally 20 some questions, like who are you, where are you from, how did you meet, who is he, where is he from, how old is he, just all of these questions, like like everything. Like they want to know like all the details. So I'm like, okay, it took me like 40 minutes to fill out, and I literally applied just because I'm like, you want to know what, this is a joke, why not, they're not going to take this seriously. Literally, when I heard an email back, I was screaming and laughing at the irony of it all. But we literally started emailing literally for months. In the end, nothing happened, but like we were emailing each other for months. And I don't think I'm gonna drop any producer names just to be safe, but we were emailing each other back and forth. And I've spoken with several different people, like at least 3 or 4 people. Yeah, like 3 people. And we were talking on email, texting, calling, Facebook, Skype, like you name it. They had like almost everything. And as we were going on, like, oh, we're interested in your story, since like, oh, we usually film like right before you go, and like when would you go and meet, and how long will you be there? I'm like, okay, I'm going to Thailand, obviously, because he lives in Thailand. So I'll fly into Bangkok, and I'll meet him in Bangkok, and then go from there. Ended up meeting him in Bangkok, and then went to Nakhon Sawan because that's where he lives in Thailand. So they were asking all the details, and at the time they were wanting to know more about his side, about how we were talking, and how does he feel about you, like all the stuff. Like, does your family know? Do they support it? Like, are they against it? If they are, what are they saying? All of this stuff, just because I want to know if there's like any drama. That part ended up coming later though. So as the emailing back and forth, getting to know me and my story, she eventually, one of the producers, she actually asked, okay, we're definitely interested in this, and we want to know when you're going. And I told them several times, and she's like, okay, well, I want you to Skype with one of our head producer, like, or casting director person. And I'm like, oh, okay. And this interview, when she was asking me all these questions, like, what do you like about him? What do you know about him? All of his stuff. Like, do your family, are you supportive, not supportive? Are you going to move there? Is he going to come here? How are you going to do it? Are you doing like the 90 Day Fiance visa? Are you going to do the spousal visa? What are you doing? Like, are you going to get engaged? Are you going to get married? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just going through the motions, and she was actually cueing me what to say. She's like, I like your answer, but you need to say it like this. Like, she was scripting me to what they wanted to hear. And I thought that was weird because she would pause. She's like, I'm recording this conversation to show to the other producers and everything of the show. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But she's like, oh, well, it's like, tell me what you love about him. I'm like, oh, well, I love, he's kind, he's selfless, like that's nice, but I need you to say it like this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I would have to re-say it in the way she wanted me to. And I thought that was relatively weird. Like, she was a nice woman, but like, you had to go by certain like standards, I guess, or procedures. I can't talk, but she wanted me to go by certain protocols or whatever. Kind of like, I felt like it was really scripted, but like, it was my words, but she was telling me what to say for my story with my boyfriend and everything. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So it lasted 45 minutes, and that I'm pretty sure that conversation happened back in August of last year. And eventually I went to school up in Marquette, and it was still going on. They're like, well, we want to know how, like, what, like, is there things that he doesn't like that you do? And I'm like, well, yeah, he doesn't like drinking, he doesn't really like clubs, he doesn't really like, at the time, he didn't really like some of my body modifications. And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna get rid of my stuff just because you don't like it. Like, and like, oh, that's drama. Do you think there'd be more drama when you go? Like, do you think his family thinks you're using him, or like your family thinks he's using you? And I'm like, I don't think so. But like, they're kind of like scripting in a way. They're kind of like scripting, giving me things like, well, you have to have doubt in your mind. Like, you've never met him, and you never face chatted with him, so how do you know he's real? He could be catfishing you and you not know. I'm like, well, I Skyped him before for like maybe like 30 seconds, but it was him. And they're like, well, maybe there'd be some drama, and you want to know if there's anything like ongoing feuds. Like, does he have any other girlfriends? Does he have any friends that aren't supportive? And I'm like, from what I asked, most of his family and friends know I'm a thing, and we're not catfishing each other because we've seen each other. And they kept trying to put all these scenarios in my head. So I eventually was like, you wanna know what? I'll ask him. So I asked, and he's like, no, I don't know. Because they give you this waiver to sign. Like, they can portray you how you ever they want to, which is why I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell this video without getting my ass in trouble. But technically, I didn't make the cut, so I'm like, it should be fine. But I was supposed to sign this waiver, and like, I'd be portrayed however they wanted me to, or however they would portray me and how they portray him. And I'm like, I don't really have an issue. I feel like they probably try to portray me as this loser mooch. But who knows? I'm like, it depends how people would perceive me. I'm like, okay, sure, yay. People get to judge me even though they don't know me, because they just show you what they want to show you, which is good, I guess, good for the ratings. But they really emphasized like they wanted drama. Like, they really wanted that drama. And I'm like, I'm not really super dramatic, even though there were points in Thailand I really wanted to freaking snap and scream. But there are moments leading up to when they would have started recording, which have been in like end of December, and I'm like, that would have been a lot of drama. Because we spoke from like, I want to say August to like December is when they finally like, yeah, we're not gonna cast you. Because we talked everything about payments, and like, they wanted me, one thing they wanted to do was they wanted me to reschedule my trip, and my trip was January 10th through the 29th of this year. And they were wondering if I would be willing to push it back, and if I would, they would have reimbursed me for it. And I'm like, okay, that's not bad. I have the money, and you know, so I'm like, it's not bad, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't necessarily really want to do that, because everything's already booked. Like, the Airbnb was booked, like everything was ready in place to go. And they're like, well, we'll reimburse you if if you do all this stuff. So we were just talking, because they wanted more info from him. They wanted him to record a video of himself answering the questions that they sent. They wanted to Skype with him, and they did. And he was really going the extra mile for them, because he's not really comfortable with his English. It was kind of like Paul and Creaney with speaking through the translator app. That's what it was. But I didn't know that at the time. So they're like, oh, so would you guys communicate all right? I'm like, yeah, we'll be fine. But when I was in Thailand, that wasn't the case. It was a translator app through Google. And I'm like, oh, shit. But I didn't know that going into it, because they were asking, how's his English? Do you seem comfortable? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. No problem. I'm like, I got it. We're good. No problem. No, that wasn't the case at all. He's not really comfortable with it, but he understands, if that makes sense. So I'm like, shit. Because when we were talking about it, he sent me a few videos, like, oh, it was a cute video, and like, you guys are together, and we're speaking with the producers, and then eventually I got in touch with the producer's assistant, and we Skyped, I guess. We Facebook chatted and called me a lot, and that was near the end of my semester up in Northern, and it was crazy. They kept asking, like, is there gonna be drama? Well, we want there to be drama for this, that was the thing that really pissed me off. Like, we want there to be drama, like, we want there to be some beef to make it more interesting. I'm like, well, why can't you just show people meeting without the drama? Like, there doesn't always have to be drama. Like, going to meet, the potential love of your life. Like, because they kept asking, well, are you going to go clubbing when you're there? Are you going to be drinking in Thailand? Are you going to be going out a lot? I'm like, well, drinking, I did do some, but not every night, just because I had Thai beer at least 3 times, and every time I had 3 different brands. It was disgusting as hell. And the bars I went to were, well, they were Western, so I'm like, there was one bar I went to, and I had a drink there, but it was, I don't know what it was called, but it was really good. I think it was a Thai drink, but that's not the point. They wanted TLC, well, 90 Day Fiance, they wanted drama, and I had drama after they said you didn't make it the final cut because there's not enough drama here for us for a cup of tea. I'm like, okay, but there was some drama in Thailand, just because, like, I got there the 10th, and I'm like, are you gonna come? Like, I told him not to come. He wanted to come to the airport to pick me up. I told him no, because I got there at like 11:30 midnight-ish, and actually, yeah, and I got to my Airbnb around, like, probably a little bit after midnight, and I'm like, I wasn't in the mood. I mean, I felt bad, because I'm like, just because he was going to school at the time and working too, I'm like, just don't waste your gas. It was like 1,000 baht, which is like $32. I'm like, it's not bad. I'm like, just stay where you're at. We'll meet another time. But then after that, I'm like, so when you coming? When you coming to Bangkok? When you coming to Bangkok? I could have bought a I should have bought a ticket online, like a train ticket, because I didn't do that until like after the fact, like a week or two, like a week and a half after I met him, like to Chiang Mai, and Chiang Mai back to, yeah. I didn't know, else I would have. Because he kept like, oh, I'm busy, I can't, I'm busy, I can't. And then like we've actually finally met the 14th, because he came from Nakhon Sawan, which is 3 hours north of Bangkok, and then he came down to meet me in the capital. So I had like a few days to myself, which it was shell shock in itself. But all in all, I was able to meet him, and we are still together, and I'm going back relatively soon, I hope. It's been like almost 6 months since I've been in Thailand, and the climate, oh my god, it's really, really freaking hot. I'm like, I didn't mind. The pool was gorgeous. I love the Airbnb, but there's some things that I'm like, I'm spoiled to, that I'm used to here, and I'm like, it's a shell shock. I actually did get culture shock for the first time in a long time, because I travel a lot, and I wasn't expecting to get culture shock. like I did, going outside the city. I knew what it was going to be like, but I wasn't expecting it to be as hard, or like smack dead. Like, here's your reality. This is what it actually is. And it was kind of shocking at first, but then you quickly adjust. Like, this is how one side lives. This is how the other side lives. It's sad, but that's the reality. So pretty much, my bullshit rambling, that's the story of how I applied to be on 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, and pretty much almost made it, but didn't. So thankfully, I didn't, because that would have been something else. I don't know when the hell the new season's gonna air, because they had others already. Like, they're going apparently February, but I went before that. I went obviously beginning of January. Okay, beginning-ish of January to end of January. So I don't know when it's coming back, but yeah, I'm not sure if I was even supposed to talk about it, but like I said, I didn't get casted for the show, and I did sign some paper waiver, but like I said, I'm not casted, so I'm pretty sure I should be okay to post this video, even though it's a cluster. So if you enjoyed, hopefully you enjoyed this cluster truck of how I almost was on 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. That life ain't for me. It's a joke, but then I'm like, at first I'm like, let's do it, it'd be cool. And then the further I dove into it, I'm like, this is not cool. I don't want this. So I'm kind of glad things, worked out, even though the money would have been nice, but whatever. So that's all for this story time. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to stalk me on my other social media. It'll be in the description box below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.